somebody in the top 100.
Yeah, definitely. And I noticed, obviously, you got a nice 3-fight win streak going. And I was just curious, is
So
there...
it should have been 4, but the one guy said he got poked in the eye. I don't know how you get poked in the eye when you're getting punched.
Yeah. I've seen a few guys claim that because, you get a knuckle in the eye and they try to say it's something else. Yeah, but anyway, you do have a nice win streak going. So, was there anything that you've changed up in your game plan recently or your training, or is it just, just a coincidence?
No, just going back to the aggressive style, but definitely getting more confidence on the ground. Get training with one of the best black belts in the world, and Ryan Jensen, and just being having a little bit more, being a lot more comfortable in the ring, with the ring presence, a lot comfortable on the ground, has made it. I think made me a complete fighter.
Right. And you mentioned the ground game. There was a perception once you were cut from the UFC that maybe you needed to work on your ground game a little more. Do you think you were deficient in that area, or was it just a matter of getting more time in the gym in that aspect, or what do you think has been the difference?
I think there's a little bit of the time in the gym, because right now I think with the whole thing was working on transition. When you're learning a lot, especially with jiu-jitsu and grappling and wrestling, the transition is really important, and I think working on the transition game has really helped me. And being more comfortable on the ground with my transition versus thinking about it, I think I'm a lot better fighter.
Right. Now I know you fought heavyweights before. You're a pretty fearless guy. You really don't turn down fights, I don't think. And but I noticed one guy probably didn't raise too many eyebrows now, but Joey Beltran, now a heavyweight, doing pretty well in the UFC. I mean, what's it like seeing that guy doing so well against those big guys in there, and thinking that you actually fought that guy?
You know what? Actually, I would love to fight Joey again, because I think he was there during that transition of me finding a new gym. And, me still trying to, do this fighting style that I wasn't even used to. So, if I have a chance to fight Joe again, I think it will be a whole different ball game. But right now, to see him doing actually what he's doing is pretty good. At heavyweight, I fought him, and I was 208, 210. And so, I don't consider that heavyweight, but to see that guy do what he does, my coach even said that, he's a pretty good guy. But me as a fighter, I wish I had another crack at him. Just, in the mindset that I am right now, it would be a whole different outcome.
Right. So, one more question about an older fight, then we'll get on to your one coming up on August 13th. But, you had an incredible fight with Sokoju. I think it was one of the best fights of the year. And really, it seemed like, you showed that heart and determination that I think all fans know that you have. But, I mean, what was it like going through that fight, being in there, with so many back and forths? And, I think everyone thought that fight was going to be stopped 2 or 3 different times before, and it just kept going. What was that fight like for you?
It was a great experience for me. And again, I think it showed that maturity. It showed that that I've been working on my transition game, and it shows that I have the heart. So can no one ever say I don't have heart after watching that fight, because there was a lot of highs and lows in that fight, and fortunate for me, I was in better shape. A lot of guys don't pay close attention to their endurance in the ring, but I think that's the number one priority. If everyone's running the same thing, everyone's doing the same grappling, everyone's doing the same boxing, but how good of a shape are you in? And right now, I'm probably better shape than most fighters that are out there.
Right. Now your opponent on August 13th is Razak Al-Hassan. It's going to be in the co-main event of MMA Fight Pit. He has some really good Taekwondo leg kicks from, his background. We talked to him. He wasn't being cocky, but he just says he feels like he's going to have more options on the ground and maybe be a more just dynamic all-around striker. But he does know that you're, very powerful, hit really hard. But I was wondering what you think of his assessment, and if you think maybe he's basing his judgment of you based on your older fights.
You know what? I really don't care, what anyone says about my fighting style. No one cares. No one cares until you get hit. So when we get in the ring and actually, throw those blows or actually get on the ground, that's what counts. But I don't care what the assessment is or what I think about him. He's a great all-around fighter. But everything's cool until you get hit in your mouth. Everything's
Yeah, yeah, and obviously he's the much younger guy. Physically, how do you feel? What's it like going in against these younger guys and training with the younger guys that you do? I mean, do you still feel like you have a lot left in the tank?
You know what? I bring a sense of maturity and respect to the game. No matter how young, the guys are. They're very they're physically big and strong, but I think that maturity in the ring, that ring presence is what people lack, and endurance. So those are two things I do have one up on a lot of the fighters that are out there, man.
Mm-hmm. So if you win this would be your fourth in a row, technically five if you don't count the no contest. But for you, where do you think that this could get you back in the big show, or do you have any plans as far as that goes? And as a fighter, what's it like right now in the current landscape, seeing that really the UFC does control a lot of the the big stage? I mean, does that are you still able to find the opportunities you're looking for, or are things getting a little bit more difficult?
You know what? If I'm given the opportunity to get in be a five or six fight deal with a bigger organization, that'd be great. But right now, I think I'm like the rapper Tech Nine. But Tech Nine is one of the best underground rappers of all time, and he's built his fan base from the ground up. And in building his fan base from the ground up, the guy has created a $68 million business for himself in his record label. Now, I'm doing the same thing. I'm building my fan base from the ground on up, doing the smaller markets, the bigger markets, and doing the pay-per-view. So, I'm worth. I know I'm worth a lot as far as the fans goes because of the way I fight, and I'm very marketable as far as any type of promotion goes. So, get to the big show would be great, but I'm happy where I'm at right now.
Right. Well, we know you got a busy schedule, and as everyone knows the story, I believe you have 6 kids, right?
4 girls, 3 boys.
Yep, 7. I'm sorry. So obviously you.
4 girls, 3 boys. My daughter's she'll be 2 coming up here in October.
Okay, so it's a great background story. We'll talk more about it and plump up the fight a little bit more. But we know you got a tight schedule, and so we always appreciate you being able to talk with us. But good luck with the fight, and we're looking forward to it.
I appreciate it, man. Shout out to all my family, friends, and all the sponsors that helped me.
Yep.
And again, shout out to you for the interview, me, brother. It's an honor.
Yeah, no problem. And by the way, I'm sorry. Are there any sponsors or anything else you want to give any more plugs to?
You know what? I think I got the Body by Body people, Rotello's Bakery, Tommy Tires, Midwest Customs, and then go to my Twitter or Facebook. Or check out ChiefsAlexander.com.
All right. Well, once again, like I said, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Have a good one, okay?
No, brother. You know what? We'll talk again after I win this fight.
All right. Excellent. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.